My research project for Interaction for Game Design is centered around using blueprints to communicate and modify UI elements in a simple combat system. The project required us to gather skills from different online tutorials and use them in our own way. I used tutorials for making enemy nameplates, basic follower AI, and a magic particle effect. Taking these, I was able to create an enemy with health and a level that can both display changes in-game, a method to increment the enemy level and attack value, an attack for the enemy, and a runic energy circle which the player can place to harm the enemy. The enemy chasing AI was created with a blackboard, behavior tree, and AI controller blueprint. Once I had followed the tutorial, I placed a nav mesh box in-game and attempted to have the enemy follow the player. The enemy didn't move at all at first, which surprised me after following the tutorial exactly. After some time of troubleshooting and research, I discovered the nav mesh needed to be tall enough for the enemy to walk around in, after I scaled it up eventually. Once I had the enemy AI, I asked the question, with lack of animation skills to make an attack, how can I cause damage to the player from the enemy character? The answer came from skills I previously gained in class. Using collision mechanics and blueprints, I was able to damage the player health if the enemy got within a certain proximity of the player. Next, I wanted the player to be able to retaliate, but I knew I couldn't use the same method since running towards something trying to attack you isn't the greatest idea. I eventually decided to give the player a damage over time attack to place on the ground. Enter the Magic Circle tutorial, where I learned how to create and place the effect on the ground. I used my previous blueprinting knowledge, then created an event that would damage the enemy while they were walking through the circle. Now that both parties could damage each other, I turned my attention back to the nameplate tutorial I had previously completed in class. The nameplate widget reflected the enemy health and level, and I wanted those to be shown changing during gameplay. Using bindings, I linked the widget to the enemy character blueprint. This was a success with the enemy health being shown depleting during gameplay. And now I had to find a way to increment the enemy level. I solved this by creating a collectible object which leveled up the enemy when collected, and as a bonus I added the ability for the enemy attack to scale with its level. Finally, I had decided that what I had created was a good showcase of my ability to learn from others and problem solve using my own knowledge. I believe I did well in seamlessly combining the three tutorials into something new and creative. This has been my research project for Interactions for Game Design at ETSU. Thank you for your time watching, and have a great day.